What's up? I'm Carl, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of work with Claude. Are you the only? Am I the only one having my mind blown like constantly by this thing? Today I have wandered into an experiment. I wasn't planning on doing this video. I installed the Claude plugin and I started playing around with it, and I typed in a single slide that said e-learning best practices, and then I told it to build out the content. So it started by going through, this is my Claude window here, and it gave me some content slides here, the landscape, the best practices. I asked it to leave out anything about VR, AR, and 360. And then I asked it to add in Mayer and Clark. So like not just what are the trends, but like what are the principles of how our brains process information. So I'm sitting here right now just watching slides get built. So I'm gonna show you what it's put together so far. Again, I gave it no input, only just a couple prompts. And as I sit here, it just it's wild. New slides just get made and things appear on slides. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a minute to work here. Not exactly riveting content. So to make it a little more interesting, let me show you something I made. Here's another example that I did earlier this week. I gave it very minimal. I uploaded some of the characters that I use. This is a whole separate project here that I've done for accounting, how to submit expense reports. So it shows who approves it next, and we go through and we meet her. I did this and I walked away for 10 minutes and I came back and it was finished. And all of these, like, then it shows what happens if it was not approved. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah, very, very crazy the things that you can do with Claude. Hmm, look at that. New slide. They just keep dripping in. I told it to do like 20 or 30 slides. So you see that I get little updates and then it just adds things in and refreshes. If you've never done this before, I really recommend you spend an hour doing it. I'm really rethinking the way that our industry is going to design e-learning, what we can get done with the time that we have, the sorts of interactions, the sorts of tools that we use. I have been a very storyline dependent person. Here's an example of a storyline file that I have pulled up where I've gone through and I've built things that customize, and I do little words where I write in notes with the client meeting and we go through the cycle time. And then I go through and I built something like this in just a few minutes of prompting. Now I have to go back through and revise the content and stuff, but my experiences so far have shown that it's really pretty easy. All right. Principles 10 through 16, contiguity, modality, redundancy, coherence, and signaling. So let's see what it comes up with here. I love the do's and don'ts. I didn't tell it to do this. It's just making like really solid, good decisions based on this. And I'm running this e-learning best principles to see if it covers what I know. And that's, I think, what is the most mind-blowing about this whole Claude experience is it does know a lot of what I know, and it does like tap into all the principles and things that I've learned in grad school and that I've tried to bring into my own designs. And I love that we can coach Claude to say, hey, make sure you're following the multimedia principle. So I'm going to be doing more videos like this to kind of share the process of going through and tweaking it so that it does have your fingerprints on it, that it does make an impact based on the choices that you make as a well-educated designer. That's the challenge. Anyone's going to have access to the tool, but it's not going to be educated designers. It's going to be someone who's just either reproducing bad e-learning they've seen before or just winging it and going off the gut. So these research-based principles are really an important part of it. Okay, I will step off my soapbox now. Let's see. Oh, look at that. I'm going to move to slide sorter mode here. So we see that it's just creating. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what it's got for us here. So modality, redundancy, coherence, signaling. In another minute, step 4 will pop up here. So one of the things that I'm still learning with, we're all on this learning curve together here. It's fascinating, isn't it? Just sitting back, like I feel like I should just do this. It's like, okay, well, there we go. There's another one. They just get developed as we're sitting here watching. It's like, I feel like I'm having a fever dream. Like, are these slides really just magically creating themselves and doing so much of this work for me? It's really, really fun to watch. And you can see, the colors are changing, the titles are changing, and they're using this same format, which, again, I think is really strong. And I didn't tell it to go in and to say, do this and avoid that. Now, some of the colors and things are really off. That is something that I have not given to Claude. I'm doing all of this in the browser, by the way. One of the things that I have learned about Claude. Okay, so here is Claude. There is Claude Chat. There is Claude Cowork. I haven't dabbled much with code. Cowork does a really nice job of going through and creating Word documents and PowerPoint documents. So I had one earlier that I did this week where I said, hey, these are the summary sheets. These are the printable companion that you can fill out electronically. And I gave it a template, and then I gave it a client's policy doc, and it repurposed that into the same sort of simple summary sheet format that I do. It also does these great meeting summary documents so that I can go through and I can say, okay, we were on a call and here are the topics we discussed and all the points that we made in a very nice, like easy to follow format. It spells my name wrong, but that's okay. It really is fascinating what it can do. So I stupidly was using just this app and I didn't realize that there's a whole different thing that you can do, Claude Design. So this is not in the Claude app. If you're like me and for some reason you like working in apps better than you do in the browser, make sure that you also remember that Claude Design is something different. So you see here, there's like a design system where I can upload all my colors and fonts and everything that I want to work with. That would certainly make, I don't know about you, but I don't like this color palette at all. So that's somewhere that I would be able to control it. And what's nice is if you're a control freak like me, you can still just go in and do everything that you would normally do in PowerPoint. So I really like getting a tool like this that goes through and lets you take control of the second wave of things. So look at that, it's nice. It just automatically put in a summary. So we go through evidence-based design, it goes through all of them, and then it puts all 9 of them here, putting it into practice. So now it gets into that original set of the 7 best practices. And I'm very curious what it's going to be. So I will probably wrap up this video. I think anything longer than 10 minutes really is a leap of faith. I'm not going to ask you to do that, but I will share a link in the comments below that show what this finished product looks like.